Recording in progress.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. So last session we started discussing about styles. So we learned about various basic techniques, styles, and first point we learned in how many ways we can keep the styles. We discussed two things. We have inline, another one embedded. Inline means the styles are defined within the element so that they are fast, but problem is we cannot reuse. So we can try embedded. Embedded means we can keep the styles in a style container so that we can access and use from any place. Embedded, some questions I told you, like where to embed in head or body. What is difference? What is difference between embedding in head and embedding in body? So in head, the intention is it is loaded into browser memory. From browser memory, it is given to page. Directly, if you want to load into page, then we have to use body. So that is basic we learned. And one more I told you in embedded itself, what is the MIME type, right? For whenever you write styles, we have to define MIME type for styles. What is the MIME type for styles? Text slash CSS. That is the MIME type. So it is important to mention the MIME type whenever you write the styles. Next, while working with embedded, one more important thing you need to know. While working with embedded, one more important concept is, one more question is, what is the media type for styles? What is the MIME type? Another one, what is media type? What is the media type for styles? Actually, media type means you can target the styles for various media devices, for various media content. Like, so we have option like screen, we have like print, we have like speech. Media can be defined three ways. We have screen, we have print, and we have speech. That's what actually media type is. So generally, media type for styles. These are the three media types we are having. One is screen, another are print and speech. What does this means is, for example, see, let's create one example here. Now, in this example, yesterday we created one page. Yeah. So in this, we will design one screen like this. Suppose we are creating a simple div, and div have a class container, and in this div we have some data list with the data term, some ticket number, some data definition, some ticket number, some TRN, some like this. And we have data term, departure. So departure, so data definition on suppose, so 4/26/2023, something like this. Now here we are writing some effects. Dot container, we have border as 2 pixel double and some red like this. Box shadow is 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixel, some black. And we have one more, for example, padding as 20 pixel. We are defining like that. Now you can see here. So we can see here, this is the content we have. And what happens wherever data term is there, background color I set gray and color is some white. These kind of effects are given there. Ticket number, departure, wherever data list is there, display as grid, and grid template columns, 6 fractions and 6 fraction. It will divide like this. Data term margin bottom as 10 pixel. So you have the 10 pixel. Their fan symbol is there. It's not working. There are other switches are there. So here, this is ticket number, departure, and all these details available. Now, generally, what happens is in this container, we will keep another div as ID as offer, or this also I will put a class as offer, and suppose 20% off, right? So this is something effect defined there. So dot offer, and we are giving some border radius as some 100 pixel and border as 1 pixel solid red. So background color is some yellow like this we define. And for this width as 50 pixel, we are adding like this. Padding as 10 pixel. Okay, then here, what is the point is this appearance we will give on position. Position is absolute. Right side is 20 pixel and top is 20 pixel. And the main container position is what? Relative. I will give like this, then it will be like this. Now this is some content is there. Now you see generally on internet when you book any tickets and you need to carry a hard copy, that means you need to carry a printout. Then we have to take a printout of this. We need to take a printout. Now if I have to take a printout for this, one problem is generally website people what they do when they are presenting any content on screen, they will put lot of animations. Something will be blinking, something will be scrolling, lot of colors and effects, and lot of advertisements also will be there. Now when I print this ticket on a paper, I don't want all of them. I don't want all of them. So for example, so you have in this container a button. So button is print ticket like this. And you see there is a button. Now when I open printer settings and try to print this, then you will see, let's open Control P. This is printer settings and it will print exactly how you see on screen. Why do I need to print that button? That means you see even today, uh, when a ticket is sent to you, these days people send PDF format, that is okay, good. But directly sometimes a ticket will come to your email which you have to print. And when you print it, lot of your email also printed, like forward button, compose buttons, all the advertisements, entire paper is printed. That's not good. It should print only specific. But usually whatever is there on screen, it is printed. So now CSS can control this. CSS can decide how to print on screen, how to print on paper. Not only that, these days you have screen narrators. Artificial intelligence is there. Screen narrators means you are traveling, you are hearing AirPods, and some message came. It will read the message and it will tell to you. Right? Some message comes, it will read and it will tell the message. That means that is the concept of speech. We call it as speech. That means what happens usually is when you are watching any website on screen, when you are watching a website on screen, you will see so many things. And while taking a printout, we don't want all those things. Then CSS can decide now. CSS can decide what to show on screen and what to print. And not only that, CSS can also decide what to read on your screen. It should not unnecessarily read everything. It should read only subject. So if you want, it will read details. Generally, when you are using AirPods and all, then what it will do, it will say that you have a message from this person. You want to read that message, it will ask. If you say yes, read, then it will read. Otherwise, just it will tell this is the message. It will not detailedly read the message. This is controlling screen, controlling speech, controlling printer. This we can manage by using CSS. Now see here in printout, it is showing everything what is there on screen. But I don't want like that. Then you can decide. So you can target your styles for various media content. How you can target? So here syntactically you can write like this. We can write style, style type. Type is what? Text slash CSS. And for this you have another attribute called media. Media is equal to, you can say screen, you can say print, you can say speech, or you can also use all. All means for everyone. This indicates this is style. This indicates, so on screen how you want, on printer how you want, while speech what you want. This we can decide. By default, actually, default media type, default media type is all. That means for printer, for speech, for screen, everything will come. The default media type is all. If you want to control the media type, we can control the media type by using this option. That means how we can do that. So how we can configure, let's see. For example, now I will go into this. Let's see By default, this is all. Here I will just keep an media. So media as screen. That means on screen, it will come like this. Now what I will do is I will write another style. We need to write another style. The style type is text CSS and media is print. If media is print, then what you don't want and how you want. If media is print, then we will do one thing. So we will put so entire container. For container, we will set border as none. We will put shadow, box shadow also none. We are not using any shadows and all. No border also. Okay, we will put border, but 1 pixel solid black border we will give. And we want some padding as 10 pixel. And wherever data term is there, data terms, so we will set background color as none. No more background color should be there. And because we used some background color for terms, and so here we will put color as black again. That is the normal style we are having. And we don't want button. Then for button, we will keep display as none. Display none. That means button will not be there. Now you see on screen, when I am watching this ticket, it looks like this. When I open printer settings and I don't want this offer, then what we will do, dot offer also display as none. Now you can see now here, when I open printer settings, Control P, that appearance is completely different. That means how you are watching on screen, the same is not printed. On screen, it is different. On printer, it is different. How you can control like that? By using media. By using this media, you can control. When you write styles, you can target styles. For screen, what to display, how to display. For printer, how to display. For narrators, how to display. Narrators means they speak loud and announce that. For narrators, how you want. All these are important. This you can control by using this media types. So whenever you are writing styles inline, we don't have a choice. But when you are writing embedded, then you can control. For inline styles, we can't control. Inline styles, we don't have any media type. So we don't have any MIME type, right? That is possible when you are writing the styles as what? Embedded. This is example for that. This is the example. Let me give you this example. Here, the styles are written in two ways. Two times we are writing the style. One is for print, another is for screen. If you want, you can write another for speech. In speech, I don't want anything, only ticket number and date. Only these. Others you can hide. Then when it is reading, it can read only those details, right? So this is basic how we can configure the styles. So two techniques we learned. Inline technique, another one embedded. In embedded, again, lot of questions. Where to embed and what is the MIME type? Another one, what is the media type, right? Now, next important, what is drawback of this one? What is the drawback of embedded technique? The drawback of embedded technique when compared to inline, it is a little slow. It is slow because it has to be applied from one place and used from another place, configured. One more problem is there with embedded. Another problem with embedded is you cannot, embedded problem is you cannot access from another page. So what is the issues? What are the issues? What are the issues with embedded technique? What are the issues in embedded technique? At the back, you people, so fan is not there still. Right. So we'll see what are the issues with embedded technique. What are the issues with embedded technique? First important, the issue with embedded technique is, so it is slower when compared to which technique? Inline. It is slower when compared to inline. Another important is you cannot access you cannot access you cannot access styles fans. You cannot access styles across pages. You cannot access styles across pages. That is the issue with embedded. Across pages means what? You written for one page. Same styles I want in another page. They are not accessible because embedded, you are embedding in a page. They are available only to that page. So that means in 10 pages, we designed a website. In every page, heading should be same. In every page, containers must be similar. That you write in one page, you cannot access from another page. That is the problem with which technique? Embedded. So then we have another solution for that. What is the solution? Number 3, you can use styles in a external file. Styles in external file. Styles inline, styles embedded, and styles in external file. So styles in external file actually we call as CSS. CSS stands for cascade style sheets. Actually, in this technique, you can maintain styles. You can maintain styles in a separate style sheet. Separate style sheet with the extension .css. In this technique, you maintain separate style sheet with extension .css. What is advantage? So you can link to any page and access styles across pages. You can link to any page and access styles across pages. Now the question here is, why it is called cascading style sheet? Cascade means, what is the meaning of the word cascade? It's an English word only, general English, not any technical. What is the meaning of cascade in English? Cascade means, for example, you have playing cards. I given you some 13 playing cards and asked you what are the cards you are having. Then you will not separately open one by one. You will cascade them in your hand. Now you know what is cascading? Cascade. You will cascade means you will arrange in such a way that In one view, you can see all. Am I right? So one behind another, one behind another. That mechanism is called as cascade. What is cascading is a type of arrangement. Cascading is a type of arrangement. What is the advantage of that arrangement? What is the advantage of that arrangement? So from the foreground, you can see what is in the background. Right? You can see everything from in the background, just from the foreground, without going there. Right? That is actually cascade means. So technically, cascade is a cascade is a type of arrangement. Cascade is a type of arrangement. So how this actually works, for example, see, cascading is nothing but arrangement of style sheets. Suppose we have some styles. It's a CSS page. Here we return some styles. We maintain styles in a separate file. After maintaining in a separate file, suppose we have some pages. So we have a page, like suppose this is the page, and this page is some home page. Similarly, we have some another page, and this is some contact page. We have different pages. Now these two pages wants to use the styles. Then simply this page can cascade over it. It can cascade. That means actually this is the style sheet. And what your page can do, it can cascade over that style sheet. When it cascade over the style sheet is in the background, but its styles are visible to the page in the foreground. This mechanism is cascading. Now, what is the advantage? Any page can cascade over it. Any page can cascade over it. That means your styles are present at one place. Every page can cascade over. Right? That is the mechanism of cascading. So that what is advantage now? You write styles at one place. They are accessible everywhere. From any page you can access. Embedded problem is you cannot access from any page. But here also drawback is there. What is the drawback of cascading? The drawback of cascading external style sheet is now we have to request. That means from browser, we are requesting a page. Now two requests will go. One request for your page, another request is for CS. That means earlier, if everything is present in one page, then how many requests will be? Only one. But now two files are there, two requests will come. Remember, as a web developer, if number of requests are increasing for any page, page load time will increase. So that is the reason unnecessarily we cannot write styles in a separate file. If you write styles in a separate file, then there is a risk of delaying the page load. That means page load time will increase now. It will be slow. But there is no other way. If you want across pages, you have to maintain separate style sheet. You have to link. That's the reason no one can ask you which one is best out of three. Is inline best, is embedded best, or is external? That I will decide according to my project requirements. In one project, in one page, all three can be there. You can have inline, you can have embedded, you can have external. So what is the issue with external? External is good. You can access across the pages. Cascading is a type of arrangement where pages can cascade over style sheet, where pages can cascade over style sheet. So what is bad about this is, what is the issue is, so the note I will give. So issue with the external style sheet is the number of requests is the number of requests for page will increase. The number of requests for page will increase, which affects the page load time. So issue with external style sheet is the number of requests for page will increase, which will affect the page load time. That is the major problem with the external style sheet. So that is the reason we cannot depend on one technique. We have to use all three. How to use external style sheet? Let's see. First point, to use external style sheet, first we will go to SRC folder. We have an SRC folder. We will go to SRC. In our project, we created two folders. One is public, another SRC. All dynamic files are kept in SRC. And here add a subfolder by name styles. We need to add a subfolder by name styles. After that, add a new style sheet into styles folder. The style sheet name will be some effects.css. It must have the extension .css. And here you can write your styles. For example, .container, some border is equal to 1 pixel, solid red, some box shadow is 2 pixel. Like this, I written some effects. So these are some effects you written there. After writing the styles, we have to link the styles to any page, which already we know. We are linking Bootstrap. We are linking icons. So how to link? Link the style sheet to any page by using which element you have to use? Link. By using link element you have to do. How to do that? Link relation is equal to style sheet, and the link href is equal to node. It's not node modules, it is in SRC. In SRC, you will have, that is styles. In styles, you have effects.css. That's how we need to define. This is basically the way of using external style sheets. External style sheets are defined in a separate folder. We will access and we will link to any page we want. Now, how many requests will be for page? The number of requests for page will be 2. And if number of requests are increasing, page load time also will increase. So that is the problem with the external style sheet. So let's see this example here. I will copy all these styles. I will delete this now. I will copy all these styles whatever we written, let's copy these styles. Copy all the styles, remove from there, delete this style. And now you go to SRC folder. In our project, we have SRC folder. In that, we will add a new folder. And new folder, what is the new folder? Styles. In that styles, it will come like this, because currently you have only one folder. Later in future, in SRC, we can add some scripts also. Later, we can add some JavaScript into that. In styles, we will add a new file, effects.css. This is effects.css. Now we will copy paste all the styles here. These are all the styles. So whatever styles we written there, same option. Now actually this page, it looks normal. We have to link the style sheet here. How to link the style sheet? Link relation is equal to style sheet. Link href is equal to src. In src, we have styles effects.cs. That is ready. Now all the styles will apply here. Same thing. Just the difference is we are maintaining styles and we are applying them here. Right? This is a simple example of external styles. Now you can observe actually when you go to inspect. In the inspect, when you go to network, in network, once you refresh this, so you can see it is loaded, DOM content loaded some 65 milliseconds, right? And important is now actually, so here the number of requests, you can see the number of requests. Let me move this up. Yeah. You can see the number of requests are 3. But our file is having only 2. Usually they are 2 only. The third one is not yours. That is related to your server. Actually, WS is, it is a WebSocket. WebSocket, that is. WebSocket is nothing but in your mobiles also WebSocket is present. So you have a lot of apps, and are you keeping those apps open every day? No. Those apps are in closed state. But anybody sends a message, any notification, that those apps will push and the message will come to you. On screen, the app's messages are notified. That is done by WebSocket. WebSocket is the technique used for that. In the background, what is working? WebSocket. You see in your HTML, you go to Visual Studio, do some modification, save them, and go to browser. Without refreshing, they are already refreshed. You can see that whatever changes are there, automatically they are updated in browser. If anybody computer, it is not automatically refreshing, that means WebSocket is not working. If WebSocket is working, then automatically the page will reload with the new details whenever the changes are saved. That is actually WebSocket. So this is not our part, that is browser and live servers concept. So our page have how many requests? 2. What are those? HTML page, another one CSS. And number of requests increase, the page load time also will increase. So that is the reason we don't prefer using external style sheet every time. I will give one concept here. I will give another example here. Effects.css. Let me paste all this code. Some demo.html. I will copy this code. Okay. In this, we have style sheet. and we are linking the style sheet to our page. So these are this is another technique called external file, CSS. Now here, while working with external style sheet, there is another important concept is never use .css directly in any web page while publishing website. That is the technical point. We never use actually. We never use directly the CSS file in any website finally when publishing the website. Why we don't use? Then what we will use actually? So always so minified minified files are used for publishing. Always minified files are used for publishing. Usually minified file will be like so effects.css. This is the unminified. So, and we have effects.min.css. This is minified. Unminified and minified, we have two options. Unminified is actually we also call uncompressed. And minified is called compressed. So in interviews, they may ask you a question like, what is minification? Because without this, there is no concept of JavaScript and CSS in real time. In real time, JavaScript, CSS, we don't directly use. So we use the concept called minification. Actually, what is minification? Minification is nothing but it is a coding technique followed by developers. This followed by developers to keep the file to keep the content in file compressed so that it can reduce the file size and improve the load time. That's important. This is called minification. Minification is a coding technique. Actually, for example, we have one file. That file is occupying some 1 MB space. If I ask you to reduce the size of this file, then usually what you will do, you will take help of any compressing agents like WinZip, WinRAR and all. But CSS, JavaScript or any coding files, if you zip or rar them, they don't work. Then without zip, without rar, how we can how we can reduce the file size? So that is possible by using a technique called minification. Minification means actually, I will tell you one small concept. Actually, so I will give one example of here. We write a logic like this. Unminified code. Unminified code, we usually write like this. We will write if Okay. So let's see here. If this is to be minified, so minified code for the same will be like this. So minified code. Usually minified code will be in this way. We can write the same thing like this: condition and question mark, true and colon false. So same work will happen. That means whatever the logic you written in 5-7 lines, the same thing can be written in 1 line. That is called minification. These type of coding techniques you will learn when you learn programming. So for example, now if you learned HTML, CSS, I have color as white. Now tell me the shortcut for this. How I can reduce this size? I cannot skip the word color. That is compulsory. I cannot skip colon, right? There is no shortcut for that. But I can write #FFF. That will reduce one character from that word white. This is called minification. Like this, if I have to write 1,000 lines code in a shortcut technique, it will take lot of time. It will take lot of time. But if you can write like that, then your code is better. Because what happens is, once you designed a website and when the website is running live, then it should be lightweight. You cannot have heavy files, right? Because the person who is using that website, he purchases the website space. And within that limited space, his website should perform good. In that case, we cannot upload lengthy files for that. We need to keep it short. If you ask any developer to write logic in a minified way, then it will take a lot of time. Then what software developers will do? Later in JavaScript also you can do that. We have separate tools. We download and install those tools. Or online there are so many repositories you can go and you can minify your code, right? That means what you can do, simply copy your actual code. You observe here what is the problem I will show you. Actually, this SRC styles effects open in Explorer. We have effects CSS. Go to properties. This is 500 bytes, 504 bytes. It is occupying 504 bytes. Okay. 50 bytes. So we need to compress that now. We will copy the original CSS code. Okay. After that, online, there are so many websites. You can just Google. So we call them as minifiers, right? You can visit websites like cssminifier.com, JS minifier for JavaScript, or you can just Google CSS minifier. Lot of online tools will come. Right now, what we do is we will open CSS minifier. This is CSS minifier. In this CSS minifier, we will paste the original code, input CSS. We will paste the original code. This is the original code. We pasted that original code. After that, click the minify button. When I click minify button, it will compress the code and give it to you. I have to copy this compressed code now. After copying the compressed code, go to your project, create a minified file. That means minified file also CSS file only. Effects, same name. It will have suffix as min.min.css. So minified files, usually we give the suffix as min. It's not necessary. You can give any name, but it is tradition to tell the developers that it is minified. In this minified CSS, paste that code. That means everything what we copied, it is pasted here. Now let's go to the size. Here we have two files, effects and effects min. Right click on effects min and go to properties. And you will see that its size is 325 bytes. It was 504 bytes. 504 bytes. Now it is reduced to 300 bytes. In real world projects, we ask our developers to use this for final publishing. That means in the final publishing of a website, you have to use which file? Minified. But remember, a software developer is given with both files. We give him minified and we give him unminified, both. Why we give both? Because developer should not use minified in designing a website. There are 2 points. Are you designing? Are you publishing? Designing means you are creating. Publishing means you finished. Finally, you are making it live. When you are designing, don't use minified. After you finish it designing, while publishing, use minified. While designing, why we should not use minified? While designing, we should not use minified because minified is a compressed. So as a programmer, when you write any program and there is an error in program, automatically the program will show in which line error occurred. That means it will tell what is the error, in which line that error is. So that what you can do, you can easily go to that line and identify the problem and resolve it. But if it is minified code, it will show there is error, but entire code is in 1-2 lines only. Then where the error is, spotting the error is difficult. That is the reason while developing, we will not use minified. While publishing, we use minified. So the technical concept is how we tell this in a technical ways. We will say that the unminified file, this is used for production. Sorry, this is used for development. And minified file is used for production. So in some companies, when you are working in companies and you have to get a library from some server, they will ask you, do you want the library for development or you want the library for production? What does that means? Will there be 2 different libraries? One library for development, another library for production. There will be 2 different libraries, but their purpose is same. One is for development, which is unminified. Another is for production. Production is what? Minified. Any library of CSS, JavaScript, they have to provide minified. So you will see actually we installed Bootstrap. Go to node modules. In node modules, we installed Bootstrap. In Bootstrap dist, CSS, you will see that for every file, there is a minified file. Bootstrap CSS, Bootstrap min CSS. Why they have given two files? Both will work same. Why they have given two files if both work same? One for development, another for production. So now I will remove this file here, effects.css I am removing. So you can see effects are not working here. Effects are not there. Then we will apply effects from minified file. From minified file also effects are working same. But this time it is minified code. It will be more faster, lightweight, right? So what is minification? Minification is the process of compressing the CSS code. And for that, we have so many minification tools, we can use them. So example I will give here. One is effects.css. The original code I will give to you. This is effects.css. And as we saw, approximately it occupied how much space? 504 bytes. And what we do is another file we have effects.min.css. This file you can see, open that minified and let's copy this. And this is the minified code and it is approximately how much? 325 bytes. That's the size reduced for that. So this is the basic process called minification. So when you are working for CSS and JavaScript, you should know one more extra thing, that is minification. Remember, if you are writing the code embedded also, you can write in a minified way. But usually there is no minified file for that. Minified file will be there only when you are creating a separate external file. So if anybody asked a question like, can we modify the minified code directly? That means we return the original code. That original code is minified and we are using the minified code. If I have to make changes, so after few days, some more effects I need to add. Can I directly modify the minified file? You can because it is a CSS file only. .css file only. You can modify, but we don't recommend. Why? Because if you are modifying the minified, keep the minified format perfectly in the same way. That's okay, good. But if you are disturbing the minified format by adding lengthy process, again, it is waste of minification. So that is the reason what our developers will do. They will take modifications and minify again. Remember, minified files are not connected to original files. That means don't think that you make changes in original file, they will update in minified. No. Every time you make changes and again minify. It's not like once you minified, they are continuously connected and you do some modification, it will update. No, they will not happen like that. Every time after modification, you have to minify. So can we modify the minified code directly? Yes, but not recommended. We don't recommend that. We don't recommend to directly modify the minified files. So this is one option, minification while using external style sheet. Next important, While working with CSS, another question asked is what is CDN? What is CDN for styles and scripts? What is CDN for styles and scripts? Scripts later you will see. What is CDN? CDN is nothing but actually CDN is content delivery network. Content delivery network. CDN is content delivery network. What is the concept about CDN is it is content delivery network. That means so it is a repository. So on server, it is a repository on server which you can access and use in any project. That is CDN. So we learned about external style sheet. External style sheet advantage is you can access from any page and use. If I want in another project, then if you want the same styles in another project also, you can access CSS file anywhere. So you can copy this CSS in that project also, and you can use it. But if I want in several projects and I copy this in every project, then if I want to make change everywhere, that means I want to update my library. So then in every project again, they have to change. Then the solution is CDN. CDN is nothing but already you have used Bootstrap and you have used Bootstrap icons. If you are using Bootstrap icons, what you are doing, you are installing them by using npm. I showed you. When you install, what happens? Those files are copied into your project, into node modules. Do you know what is advantage? You don't need to connect to internet every time. That is what you have. That is what the advantage is. Many people still don't know that. That is the reason many people come and they will tell that, sir, Bootstrap icons not working for me. Okay. If I ask, show me the problem, they will say that, sir, I installed, but still not working. Okay, show me the problem. They will say that, sir, wait, I will connect to internet. You don't need to connect to internet. You don't need to connect to internet. Why? Because whatever libraries we installed through npm, they are offline. Why you are installing? Because to make them offline. What is the advantage? You don't need to connect to internet. You can directly use every day without connecting to internet. There is another technique. What is the technique? Instead of downloading and installing, some people say in my computer npm not working, node.js not working. I am using old version of node.js, or I am using Windows old version, node.js not installing. No problem. These libraries are available directly through internet. You can access them. That means directly from their server, you can access the library and you can link to page. But what is drawback now? We call that mechanism as CDN. What is the drawback? Every time you have to connect with internet. If you are not connected with internet, that library will not work. These days, people are doing that. Why? Because these days we have cloud technology. So we can collaborate with cloud and we can use it. So here I will show you one point. For example, suppose in this multimedia, this is the page. Here I am giving a simple ticket. So ticket number or some train. So here I will put a span heading, right? I'll just put a heading. So ticket, and here I will give a span. Suppose span class BI and BI train. I just given as train front fill, something like this. I'm just giving some. And you see now, so the ticket train symbol is not there. Why? We need to link bootstrap icons. To link them, first you have to install them. Right? Without installing also we can do. What you can do? CDN. We can visit their official website, getbootstrap.com. In that we can go to icons. In that icons, you can see it is showing the installation process. That is to keep your library offline. If you don't want, you can scroll at the bottom. You will see here at the bottom, you will find the CDN links. At the bottom, you will see CDN. Every CSS JavaScript library will provide CDN. CDN is directly from their server you are accessing, but here a lot of risks are there. If that server is not responding, if that server is down, so your internet is slow, then to load image also, symbol also, it will take time, right? So this is CDN. You see now what you can do, copy that CDN link and put that CDN link in the page. This is the CDN link. That means we are accessing Bootstrap icons directly from their server, not from our node modules. So you don't need to download anything. You don't need to install anything. Directly you can use Bootstrap icons. Now you can see the icon is working fine. The Bootstrap icon is working. But important is this time it is little slow. Number of requests will be increasing now. Of course, you link offline also, number of requests will increase. But here it is more slow. While it is why it is more slow? It is more slow because it is going to get data from their server location. From their server, loading this information will take a lot of time, right? So if anybody asked you, what is the CDN concept? What is CDN means? CDN means we don't download the library. We will maintain library in a separate server location. And from that location, we can access the library and use it directly. That is what actually. So it is a repository on server, which you can access and use in any project, right? This is just one example I will show you. This is CDN for Bootstrap. Like that, Bootstrap icons for everybody, CDN is present, right? So while working with CSS, you have to learn so many things. In how many ways we can put the CSS? Inline, embedded, and external file. You know the differences now between all of them. And embedded, head or body, so you have to know. What is media type and MIME type, you have to know. In external file, you need to know what is cascade. And you need to know how we can minify the code. You need to know what is the meaning of CDN. This is the option. Now here, one more question is there. The question here is, if styles for any element are defined by using all three techniques, then which set of styles are applied? So if styles for any element are defined by using all three techniques, Means inline is written, embedded is written, external file is written, then which one will work? So generally, here 2 points are there again. Two situations are there. If same set of effects are defined, if same set of effects are defined, then so it will apply according to priority according to priority. And what is the priority? First priority is for inline. The second priority is for embedded, and third priority is for external file. That depends on the priority. Now second point is, if different set of effects are defined, then what will happen? So then then all will apply. Then all will apply. That depends. If same set of effects are defined, it will apply according to the priority. If different effects are defined, then it is going to apply all. That is the concept, how it is going to use, right? Example is this. I will show you here. Suppose we are writing effects for this ticket. Now actually, for in the effects CSS, we have data term background color gray. Okay, here I am using effects.css. Data term background color is gray. Here I am writing style. Data term background color is red. Like this, I am giving like this. And in the data term style background color, I will give as green. Now which color will apply for data term? So it will apply green for the data term. So why? Because here I will apply, yeah. For first one only it is green. For second one, which one will apply? It will apply red. That means first priority inline. If inline is not there, embedded. And you can see it will be first one is green, another one is red. If embedded is not defined, then it will go for external file. So if same set of effects are defined, it will. Different are defined. Suppose data term background color. So here data term have padding. So padding 10 pixel. Then both will apply. That means if you are writing all different effects in 3 places, then all will work. If you are writing same attribute, then according to priority, they will apply. This already we discussed, right? So technically, the rule about applying the styles. Yesterday, one rule I told you. What is it? If you write in both head and body section, which one will work? So body section will work. In body, if I write multiple times, which one will work? The last in first out will work. That is the mechanism, right? Several more rules will come when we are learning about this. This is 3 ways of writing styles in HTML. In how many ways we can write styles in HTML? Now, next important is you need to understand the style syntax. You need to understand the style syntax. Style syntax, 2 types are there actually. So one is, if style is written, so style is written inline. If style is written inline, then what is the syntax? Syntax will be like So style is equal to, we have attribute 1 colon value. After that semicolon, we have attribute 2 colon value. Like this, we can apply the style. That means if you are writing inline, then we have only attribute and value. Which attribute, which value. Now, if a style is written embedded or external file, then it requires selector. This is very important. It requires selector. If you are writing inline, you don't need a selector. So many times, generally when you are learning styles and all, sometimes people tell you that selectors are very important. Without selectors, styles will not work. I don't need a selector if I am writing inline, right? So that means that's a wrong statement. I need a selector only when I am using embedded or external file, because actually, what is the meaning of selector? Suppose you are writing style. Type is equal to text CSS. In that, I am writing some effect. Color is red and some text align center. Like this, I am writing some effects. Now the question is, for which element this effect will apply? For which element those effects will apply? They will not apply to any element. So for which element they have to work, where they have to work, that is decided by selector. Whatever we write there, that is called selector. So what is the purpose of selector? Selector decides where the given styles need to apply. Selector is used for, so what is the purpose here? This is the point. We need to write in this way. So these are called, generally we call them as CSS selectors. We call them as CSS selectors. So this is very, very major concept. In entire CSS, selectors is one of the major concept. One of the main concept is selectors, right? So what is the point about selector is, a selector is going to decide where to apply the given set of effects. So that means a selector selects the head to apply given set of effects. A selector selects the HTML element to apply given set of effects. And very important, CSS selectors are classified into various categories. CSS selectors are classified into various categories. There are so many types of selectors are there. We have like primary selectors. We have rational selectors. We have attribute selectors. We have dynamic pseudo classes. We have structural pseudo classes. We have element state pseudo classes. So you have element validation state pseudo classes. So in this few we already learned. In different occasions we discussed already. These are all selectors of CSS. There are so many categories are there. primary selector, rational selectors, attribute selectors, structural selectors, dynamic pseudo classes, element state, element validation state, language selector, universal selector, root selectors, different. So these are different categories of selectors. In that, here and there's one, two, few things you already learned. But now we will see detailing. So what is the purpose of these selectors and how these selectors are going to work, right? In this, actually, first one, primary selectors, we know few of them, right? What are the primary selectors? We have primary selectors. We have one is type selector and ID selector and a class selector. We have three options there. Type selector, ID selector, and class selector, right? So this is basic types, ID, and class selector. Now, what is the difference between these? Already we used, but some clean difference you need to understand here. What is type selector? I will just give a overview first, see, so that we can implement in example also. Let's add here some styles. Let's add some styles here. I will create a separate folder, CSS examples. Okay. In this, let's say demo.html. And here I'm adding the page with the simple heading, HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Now I am writing style, and in that heading one, I will put color as red. Now it is going to apply the color red. Actually, this is type selector. Type selector means we write directly the element name where to apply. That means if you want to apply for div, paragraph P, span, header, directly the element name is used. This is actually called as type selector. If you are writing heading, if you are writing like div, or you are writing like span, or you are writing like img, these are all under which category? Type. Type selector means directly the element. What is good? What is bad? The good is at every occurrence of heading 1, that effect will apply. That means for every heading, it will apply. Suppose I am writing here heading 1, web technologies. It is also applied. But I don't want that effect for this heading. Then how? So type is not good. What is when to use type selector? When you want an effect to apply for element at every occurrence, wherever it comes in page, it should apply the effect. In that case, you can use this. But if you want to choose only where you want to apply, if you want to choose, then type selector is not good. We can use actually ID selector. ID selector is defined with hash. And we can give some name, title. And how this will work? To which element you want to apply? To that element, you can just put an ID as title. Automatically, it will apply that and it will give. To which element you want, to that you can directly apply title. It is going to work. So if you want every occurrence with same effect, then you can go with type selector. No, you want to choose where you want, then you can use ID. ID is good, but it have one drawback. Drawback is you cannot apply multiple IDs for one element. You cannot apply multiple IDs for one element. Every element can have only one ID. So that means, for example, see, I'm writing like this, hash text style. In text style, color is red and text align is center. That is one ID. Another ID hash. So this is border style. In that, so border as 2 pixel, some double and some red color. And there is another ID that is back style. And back style, we will put background color, some yellow. And in text style, we will keep padding also, some padding as 5 pixel. Now I want to apply those effects. I want to apply those effects to the element here. Let's see how. I want to apply to first heading. Then for first heading, I am giving ID text style. Then you can see text style is working fine. That's it. I can't give others. Only one set will work. That means now I am trying to add one more ID, back style. So it's not possible. So suppose I am writing text style, comma, back style. So it's not working. I'm using text style space back style. It's not working. There is no chance. There can be only one style. You can apply only one style by using an ID selector. Either text style you can apply, or you can apply back style. Only back style will come. Or you can apply only border style like this, border style. Only that will work. That is the problem with ID. But ID is good if you want only one set of effects to apply to element. Now, what you learned is class selector. What is the advantage of class selector is defined with dot. These are all classes now. What is the specialty about class? One element can use any number of classes. So that means we have to use the word what? Class. I'm giving text style. It will work. I will give a space back style. It will also work. I will give space border style. That's also working. You are applying multiple styles. Actually, when you are writing the effects for any span or div, we are writing BI and BI, suppose house like this. You are applying two classes actually. It's not one class. You are applying two classes. One class is BI, another class is BI house. You are applying two classes, then that effect is coming. Right? With one class, they cannot get all the effects. Same, actually, you are using so button. So for that, you are using BTN primary. BTN is one class, BTN primary is another class. If you remove BTN, then some effects will not work. If you give only BTN primary, then one effect will work, others will not work. You need to choose between them. So what is the difference between type, ID and class? Type will apply at every occurrence. ID will allow you to apply only one set, and class will apply multiple. Which one is best? Nothing like that. Why? Because if I want at every occurrence, then why I will use class or ID? Time waste. I will just write type. I don't want multiple, only one set should work. Then we will go with IDs. Multiple, then we will go with class. That depends on situation. All three are used. Here also again so many rules are there. This comes under which category? What type of selectors? Primary selectors. In that there are so many other categories also, right? That we'll see tomorrow. In tomorrow's session, we will discuss about all the other type of selectors with examples we will see. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue then. Right.